Good evening and welcome to the Township Committee meeting of May 27th, 2014. Ms. Bork, please call the roll.
Committeeman Delcor.
Here.
Committeewoman McCauley.
Here.
Committeeman Sirachi. Deputy Mayor Burchett.
Here.
Mayor Thompson.
Here. Please join me in a salute to the flag. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Please be advised that in accordance with Section 5 of the Open Public Meetings Act, Chapter 231 of the Public Laws of 1975, that notice of this meeting was made by the posting of the bulletin board at the Hillsborough Township Municipal Complex and notifying the officially designated newspapers that this meeting would take place at the Hillsborough Township Municipal Complex at 7:30 p.m. on May 27, 2014. First up is the approval of the April 8, 2014 regular meeting minutes. May I have a motion to approve the minutes of the April 8, 2014 regular session?
So moved.
Second?
Roll call, please.
Committeeman Delcor.
Yes.
Committeewoman McCauley.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Burchett.
Yes.
Mayor Thompson.
Yes. Now moving on to reports from committee liaisons. First up, Committeeman Delcor.
Thank you, Mayor. Just a couple of things for me this evening. First of all, I know you're going to address it a little bit later, but I did, as the Veterans Liaison, or one of the Veterans Liaisons, I certainly want to thank everyone that participated and contributed to the Veterans Breakfast that we had on Saturday in advance of the parade and the Memorial Day commemoration ceremonies that we do here in town. It's always a tremendous honor for us to be able to have the breakfast with the veterans. It's very inspiring to hear their stories, and of course, most importantly, having them lead the parade as we do each year. So, personally, as liaison, it was a great honor for me. I just want to thank everyone that was a part of those, a part of that event on Saturday. And regarding from a cultural arts perspective, the cultural arts group will be having their music festival. They will be doing that right now, tentatively scheduled for August the 8th. And, I'm sorry, August the 9th. That's Saturday, August the 9th. More details to come on that, but it's always a very nice event. We have a number of bands that participate in that event, and a number of local music and theater students put on events at that venue. So we'll give you some additional details to come, but wanted to get a save the date out there, Saturday, August the 9th for our 2014 Music Festival. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Committeeman. Committeewoman McCauley.
Thank you, Mayor. A few things this evening. Also wanted to say thank you to everyone for putting together the Memorial Parade. It is always an honor for us to participate in that. It's very moving and very emotional, and it reminds us on a day-to-day basis why we're here and our freedoms in this country. And it is very inspiring, like Mr. Delcor said, and it was really a great day. So I want to say thank you again to all who participated. And also, we were at the Nishanik Parade on Monday as well, so it's always an honor being part of their parade also. Just a reminder, Hillsborough Police are participating in the Click It or Ticket campaign this year. As always, it's a nationwide effort in encouraging and enforcing the wearing of seatbelts. It is mandatory that all occupants in a vehicle wear seatbelts, and this will go through June 1st. And Office of Emergency Management, this week is now considered National Hurricane Preparedness Week from May 25th through June 1st. We encourage all township residents to go onto our website, our OEM website, or the National Oceanic and Atmospheric website, which is www.noa.gov. It's always good to know how to prepare for an emergency situation. Just a reminder, we have our Green and Wellness Fair coming up. It's on June 17th from 3 to 7 p.m. I'll be here in the multi-purpose room at the Township Building. Local organizations, businesses will be presenting information, displays, and demonstrations on topics ranging from healthy lifestyles, making sound nutritional choices, and health screenings as well. There will also be a poster contest for the kids that further information will be on this Friday's e-newsletter for that. And I think that's all for me this evening, Mayor. Thanks.
Thank you. Deputy Mayor Burchett.
All right, the first thing I'm very excited to announce is that the Shop Hillsborough program is now a reality. Everybody's looking at me at blank stares. What's Shop Hillsborough? Shop Hillsborough is where the residents will be given a discount card, and if you shop in Hillsborough at participating businesses, they will have a discount. You use the card, and the discount will come off your property taxes. So let's say you spend $100, they get a 10% discount. That $10 will go against your property tax. So it's a really cool program. One of the parts of the program is we need sponsors, and we got Somerset Medical Center, Active Disposal Services, Premier Disposal, Bridgewater Motor Works, Frontier Financial Planning, 911 Septic, and Somerset Patriots to sponsor the cards. And so the program's off and running. You'll be hearing about this in the next few weeks, and very excited about that if you couldn't tell. Anyways, also from the DPW, there are still cleanup coupons available. So if you need to do some cleanup, stop by DPW, and they'll give you a coupon so you can use our dump. Also from the Recreation Department, summer camp sign-up is currently underway. Visit the Parks and Recreation website for details for summer camp. That is all.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. A couple things this evening from me. First, I want to thank the HHS PALS program, which is a student-run group that connects students at the high school with children with autism. And this event, which was organized by an 11th grader, Miss Singh, at the high school, I had a great chance to go there and participate in the event, which highlighted the benefits of having members of our community work with special needs children in our district. And it was great events put together solely by children at the high school. So it was a great opportunity for me to participate in that event and talk for a few minutes. Also, I want to thank everyone once again, to all of our veterans and residents who came out on Saturday for a Memorial Day event. We had a great turnout for the breakfast, and as always, it was a pretty moving event, especially when we do something called a roll call of all the veterans, and they passed the microphone around the room, ranging from guys who served in World War II all the way through currently serving members of our armed forces, and they state what years they served and where they served. And it's a great event and a great way for us to honor our veterans. And also I want to thank the Neshannock Fire Department for their invitation to participate in their event as well this year. It was a great event. They had a tremendous turnout as always. Also, for residents, be aware that please be advised that the municipal complex, including the library and Board of Education offices, will be closed on Friday, June 13th from 10 a.m. until approximately noon for an active shooter training exercise. We will continue to notify the public in the days leading up to this event, and please be sure that you are signed up and receiving our Friday e-newsletter, and also that you are signed up for the Honeywell Instant Alerts, both of which can be found on our township's website at the main page. Also a reminder that June 3rd is the primary election. Polls open at 6 a.m. and remain open until 8 p.m. Be sure to check your sample ballot to ensure you are heading to the correct location, because every year we get those frantic phone calls. And it's recommended that you bring your sample ballot to the poll so that you know exactly where you're headed. And with that, that concludes what I'll be talking about this evening. So first up, we're going to move up to onto our proclamations. So I'd like to ask Corporal Brian McCarron of the Hillsborough Township Police Department to please come forward. Whereas Brian McCarron, a dedicated corporal of 16 years with the Hillsborough Township Police Department and 2 years as a Hillsborough Township Police Dispatcher, is retiring from the Hillsborough Township Police Department. And whereas on August 5th, 1996, Corporal McCarron began his career as a police dispatcher for the Hillsborough Township Police Department. And whereas on January 5th, 1998, Corporal McCarron was hired by the Hillsborough Township Police Department as a police officer and graduated the Police Academy on June 12, 1998. And whereas Corporal McCarron was assigned to the Patrol Division until February 28, 2000, he was then reassigned to the Investigative Division on March 1, 2000 until December 31, 2000. Whereas in January 2001, Corporal McCarron then was assigned to the Patrol Division, and on August 6, 2006, appointed corporal and remained in this position until his retirement. And whereas Corporal Karen has received many letters of appreciation from citizens and commendations from the department commending him for his excellent work and dedication to helping others. And whereas Corporal Karen received a commendation for an attempted suicide investigation and a command citation for a theft investigation. And whereas Corporal Karen has served the Township of Hillsborough and its residents with passion and selflessness. And whereas the knowledge, understanding, and judgment that Corporal Karen brought to the Township is a reflection of his dedicated service. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that we, the Mayor and the Township Committee of the Township of Hillsborough, hereby express their gratitude for all the hard work Corporal Karen has done for the Township of Hillsborough and the community. Be further proclaimed that we, the Mayor and Township Committee of the Township of Hillsborough, along with his numerous co-workers and the citizens of Hillsborough Township, thank Corporal Brian McCarron for his valuable contributions to Hillsborough Township. Thank you, Corporal. And next up, I guess, Chief Kaminsky and anyone in your department who wants to come forward. We don't have a wide-angle lens. All right. Whereas Hillsborough Township Police Department celebrated the organization's 50th anniversary on May 12, 2014, and whereas 50 years ago, the governing body of the Township of Hillsborough established a full-time police department via ordinance to protect and serve a growing community, and whereas Chief Arthur G. Stovkin was appointed the first chief of police in 1955 after serving as a member of the Hillsborough Police Volunteer Service starting in 1943, Chief Stovkin retired on August 31st, 1965, and whereas Donald Douch was the first full-time chief of police, and whereas in 1964, the Hillsborough Township Police Department had 4 full-time police officers, and overnight township coverage was the responsibility of the New Jersey State Police. And whereas in 2014, the police department is commanded by Chief Paul Kaminsky, who is joined by 50 full-time sworn officers, 7 dispatchers, and 8 civilian assistants, offering 24-hour coverage of the township, and the department is established as an accredited police agency. And whereas the police department maintains a close relationship with the residents, business owners, township officials, and children in Hillsborough Township, and strives to ensure that the members of the community are safe whether in their homes, at school, or traveling on the road. Now therefore be it proclaimed that we, the Mayor and Township Committee of the Township of Hillsborough, do hereby recognize and honor the Hillsborough Township Police Department for their 50 years of continuous service, which has been instrumental in making Hillsborough one of the best places to live in America. Thank you, Chief. Congratulations.
Rest of the town's getting looted right now. Congratulations, guys.
Can I make a quick comment, Doug?
Okay, next up, could the varsity boys volleyball team come forward? That's you guys. All right. Whereas the Hillsborough varsity boys volleyball team has completed its 10th season as a varsity sport at Hillsborough High School, and whereas the team has won their third straight Skyline Cup championship, and whereas the team has captured its sixth Skyline Conference championship title in the past 7 years, and whereas for the past 8 seasons the team has qualified for the NJSIAA state tournament, and whereas the team has finished the season ranked in the top 20 the past 8 seasons as well, and whereas head coach Todd Sudel and assistant coach Robert Lungo worked tirelessly with a great group of players, stressing the importance of good technique, playing with attitude, and taking pride in how they perform on every snap of the ball. Now therefore be proclaimed that we, the mayor and the township committee, the township of Hillsborough, do hereby commend all the members of the Hillsborough varsity boys volleyball team, including
Anthony Angeline.
Matt Mazer,
Brian McEnroe.
Eric Brandwine,
Cole Norfleet.
Brad Glutch,
Greg Amata.
Scott Timko,
Artune Pecker. Kevin Michaels.
Matthew DiDomenica,
Ken Shangren.
Sean Plaskin.
Connor McAvatti,
Michael Graybon.
Coach Todd Sudol.
Is there one more hiding back there? Is there one more? We didn't get your name. All right, we'll get you next time. We'll get you next year, don't worry. We congratulate them not only for the awards they have won, but also for their unwavering teamwork and sportsmanship throughout the season. Be it further proclaimed that we and the mayor of the township committee further commend the Hillsborough varsity boys volleyball team for the honor that they have brought to themselves, their team, and our community through the many achievements. Congratulations, guys.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you, Coach.
Well, there is one group left. If Rotary could come forward, please. And anyone from our social services department, are they here? You want to pick a sign? Oh, Ron and Kathy? Oh, there you guys are. I'm sorry. You guys come up too, please. You guys have to applaud even louder now because there's less of you, so get ready. Rotary's up here tonight because they are presenting a van to Hillsborough, so I'm not sure who wants to speak on your behalf.
I got the honors.
Please.
Thank you, Mayor, Township Committee, remaining members that are here tonight, or residents, how's that?
Important members.
The important, that's right.
Standing ovation.
I'm proud to represent the club tonight and also the members that are making this possible. We're following a tradition that goes back to 1986 when we donated the first van. It was a used van at the time, and this year we're going to be doing a 2014 Ford van, brand new. So it's a first for us for the club. I lost my whole train of thought. The members have made this possible with their fundraising and the ideas that they come up to implement for this, such as the last used sports equipment sale that we just had this past weekend, the pancake breakfast, which we're going to be holding in this building, I think in about 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and then we had the golf outing and some other fundraisings, but our premier event, which I call is the Rotary Fair, and as you guys know, for the first time, we're going to be having fireworks this year on Friday night. So that's going to be another first for us for this club this year. But through all this, without the dedication and the support of the residents of this town, we couldn't have the money and the ability to make this possible. So with that, we're proud to present you with a picture of the van that we will be delivering this week to the township. Congratulations and thank you.
Thank you.
On behalf of the Township Committee, thank you not only for this, but for all the service that you guys do for the community. I know growing up in town when I thought the Fireman's Fair was going to go, and you guys stepped up and kept that continuing. It meant something for me, and I know for my kids to bring them there all the time, it means something. So whether it's this or the other events that you sponsor throughout the town, we greatly appreciate it. It makes our town better. So thank you, your club, and thank you for everything you do.
Again, my name is Ron Scobo. I'm the Director of Social Services. I just want to thank this great organization for this wonderful part of, I guess, history, you could call it, but it will be put to good use. And Kathy's here from Social Services, and she knows that we put probably over 130 rides a year at least for the handicapped people and people that that are in need. So thank you very much. We do appreciate it. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you all very much.
I could climb over that. It's like I could climb over, but...
Adam, I'll remind you.
Okay. Again, thank you to Rotary for that very generous donation. It certainly means a lot to us. And at this time, although I think everyone has already left, if you'd still like to do so, by all means. Not Eugene, you got to stay. I know, Committeewoman McCauley, I know you wanted to say something real quick.
Yes, I just wanted to briefly say that there is a memorial now out front of the police department. I wanted to give a special thank you to Chief Kaminsky and Joe Pascal, an officer here, for designing it, putting it together. Duke Farms as well for donations to the police department, allow us to fund most of that. So I wanted to give a special thank you to them. And if you get a chance to stop by and visit it, it looks very nice. It's at the entrance of the police department. So I just want to say thank you.
Great, thank you. Next up, new business. There being no new business, we're going to move on to public comments on the agenda and matters not on the agenda. Any comments? Seeing none, we're going to move on to public hearing. First up, 2014-08, an ordinance appropriating certain monies held by the Township of Hillsborough, County of Somerset, State of New Jersey for the purchase of various capital improvements in the amount of $265,295 in and for the Township of Hillsborough. As stated when this ordinance was first introduced, it is for those necessary items recommended as high priority by the Capital Planning Committee, and their purchases are based on what is available in the Capital Improvement Fund. May I have a motion to open the public hearing on ordinance 2014-08?
So moved.
Second?
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Is there any discussion from the dais?
Mayor, as you noted, these are the items that, through the Capital Planning Committee, were noted as high priority items. We did review these as part of the planning board process as well, and I think the planning board also opined the priority status of these items. So this is the list that's been whittled down from a high priority standpoint, and I think given the type of equipment that we're talking about here, including rescue tools and transportation bus for seniors and the like, these are certainly things that we should prioritize in our capital budget.
Great, thank you. Any discussion from the floor? May I have a motion to close the public hearing and adopt ordinance 2014-08?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Committeeman Delcor.
Yes.
Committeewoman McCauley.
Yes?
Deputy Mayor Burchett.
Yes.
Mayor Thompson.
Yes. Ordinance 2014-09, an ordinance amending Chapter 221 entitled Parks and Recreation Areas by prohibiting smoking. The concept of the Smoke-Free Parks Ordinance was brought to the attention of the Township Committee by the Hillsborough Municipal Alliance and the Hillsborough Health Department through the Regional Chronic Disease Coalition of Somerset and Morris Counties. The coalition's mission is the prevention of chronic illness, and smoking prevention is a top goal because it is a major preventable cause of heart disease, cancer, and other chronic health conditions. The Regional Cancer Coalition will donate signs to be placed around our parks, letting people know about the law and the fine. In addition, Somerset County has passed a smoke-free parks ordinance for all county parks. The Sauerland Mountain Preserve is a county park in the Hillsborough Township, and as such is smoke-free. This ordinance brings all other Hillsborough parks under that same umbrella. May I have a motion to open the public hearing on ordinance 2014-09?
So moved.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Seeing none, any discussion from the dais?
Mayor, just so the public's aware, since the time of introduction, we made some clarifications to the ordinance. I think it was always the intent of the Township Committee, and I think the ordinance did ban also the electronic smoking devices, electronic cigarettes. So we just changed some of the language to make it clear that the electronic cigarettes were also included within this ordinance. It's not a substantial change, and I think we can move forward with the ordinance adoption tonight.
Okay, thank you for the comments. Any discussion from the floor? Yes, please come up, state your name for the record. I'm sorry.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. My name is Lucille Talbot, and I'm representing the Chronic Disease and Cancer Coalition in Somerset County, which you just mentioned. The Health Department is a member, active member, so is the Municipal Alliance, and some of our community volunteers are also here. We've been working for a really long time on smoke-free parks in Hillsborough, and we just wanted to say thank you so very much for taking a step to improve the public health for the residents of Hillsborough. And this is a sample of the signs that we will be giving to Hillsborough to post in your parks, and there'll also be an ordinance sticker on the bottom of the sign with the ordinance number and the fine for smoking in the parks. And also, thank you so much for including the e-cigarettes as part of the ordinance. Yeah.
Thank you. Any other discussion from the floor? Seeing none, may I have a motion to close the public hearing and adopt ordinance 2014-09?
So moved.
Second?
Roll call, please.
Committeeman Delcor.
Yes.
Committeewoman McCauley.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Burchett.
Yes.
Mayor Thompson.
Yes, and congratulations to the coalition and to all of our hardworking members of the Millstone Alliance, Hillsborough Alliance. We greatly appreciate all your dedication. Thank you.
I'll take
Have-
it.
Pam will come down and get it. Next up is 2014-10, an ordinance of the Township of Hillsborough in the County of Somerset, New Jersey, providing for various capital improvements and related expenses in and for the Township of Hillsborough, and appropriating $1.5 million therefore, and providing for the issuance of $1,425,000 in bonds or notes of the Township of Hillsborough to finance the same. This ordinance authorizes the issuance of bonds for non-routine capital purchases mainly related to the resurfacing of roadways resulting from the higher-than-normal snowfall experienced this past year. As a portion of this issuance would also be necessary for necessary equipment for the Department of Public Works, again related to that harsh winter. May I have a motion to open the public hearing on ordinance 2014-10?
So moved.
Give me 1 second.
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion from the dais? I'm sorry, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Any opposed? Seeing none, any discussion from the dais?
Yeah, Mayor, as we talked about when we introduced this about a month ago, I think we all recognize the status that this harsh winter created, not only for Hillsborough, but really townships throughout New Jersey and the Northeast. As a result, we're still kind of working our way through some of the issues that have been created, most notably road deterioration and decay, additional potholes, and also wear and tear on our vehicles and equipment that was used to plow and remove snow from certain areas. So we really had about 3 or 4 winters worth of snow removal in this past year, and as a result, some of the work that normally would have taken over time really needs to be expedited into some repairs and road work this year. So that's why we're moving forward, or at least the proposal here in the ordinance will allow us to bond for certain items and allow for $1.5 million in the budget, or as a separate item outside of the budget, to allow for road improvements and replace some equipment that really deteriorated during the course of this past winter. It's needed, and I think it's a step that needs to be taken.
Thank you. Any other comments from the dais? Seeing none, any comments from the floor? May I have a motion to close the public hearing and adopt ordinance 2014-10?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Committeeman Delcor.
Yes.
Committeewoman McCauley.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Burchett.
Yes.
Mayor Thompson.
Yes. 2014-11, an ordinance amending and supplementing Chapter 232 of the Code of the Township of Hillsborough entitled Property Maintenance to identify existing sections 232-1 through 232-8 as Article 1, non-residential premises and multifamily dwellings, and add a new Article 2, vacant and abandoned residential properties, to require minimum property maintenance standards for vacant and abandoned residential properties within the township. This ordinance amends the township code to require minimum upkeep of residential vacant and abandoned property, including securing the property from unauthorized entry. The responsible party will be required to register a vacant and abandoned property with the township clerk, thereby providing necessary contact information to the township. After notification, the responsible party will be required to remove overgrown vegetation, provide minimum maintenance of the structure. Upon failure to act within the prescribed time frame, the township will initiate corrective action by placing a lien on the property for recovery of costs. I have a motion to open the public hearing on ordinance 2014-11.
So moved.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Seeing none, is there any discussion from the dais? Any discussion from the floor? Please come up and state your name.
Susan Gulliford. I have a question on this. We have a house in a development directly behind us that appears to meet the criteria of the ordinance, and the question came up in the neighborhood. I don't know, I assume this is covered in here. How would they, who would they contact to make sure that a property that appears to meet the criteria is on the list, would they call the health department, the zoning department? Once this is approved, how is it handled?
And Mayor, I can take that if you'd like.
Please.
The whole team has been put together with not only the health department and engineering and finance, the whole group of us. Dr. Belnay is going to be your point person. What we've done here is put together all the properties that we deem that are abandoned at this point. So we've gone out there, we've gone through the process for the past couple months. So we're very, very firm on that, of what's really abandoned. And then the CFO's here now, Nancy Costa, we've looked at teaming up that with the banks as well, so we know who they are. So if the property's not there, it's unfair to the neighbors that the upkeep isn't there. Dr. Belnay will confirm that. We'll work with the team to make sure that with zoning as well. And then we'll go out and try to contact either the property owner or if it's owned by the bank. At that point, then we go through the steps of the process of cleaning up the property and building them back. But your immediate question would be Dr. Belnay, and we have that in our database, our list that we continue. So if any of the residents are familiar with the property or they don't see, again, hopefully Township Committee is passing it tonight, so I'm sure the phones will be ringing tomorrow because I'm appreciative on this end that we're now able to help the residents, the surrounding residents that live near these properties, that we can now take care of them. So,
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other comments from the public? Seeing none, I have a motion to close the public hearing and adopt ordinance 2014-11.
So moved.
Second?
Roll call, please.
Committeeman Delcor.
Yes.
Committeewoman McCauley.
Yes?
Deputy Mayor Burchett.
Yes.
Mayor Thompson.
Yes, and thank you to Administrator Ferrera and everyone else in the offices here who worked so hard to move this forward. We do appreciate that. 2014-12, an ordinance to exceed the 2014 municipal budget appropriation limits and establish a cap bank under NJSA 40A:4-45.14. Under state budget law, the unused portion of the appropriations cap, which is different than the tax levy cap, may be reserved to be available in the next 2 years. Each year since 2002, Hillsborough has been able to reserve some appropriation authorization in the cap bank. The cap bank has no impact on property taxes. May I have a motion to open the public hearing on ordinance 2014-12?
So moved.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Seeing none, is there any discussion from the dais? From the floor? Seeing none, may I have a motion to close the public hearing and adopt ordinance 2014-12?
So moved.
Second?
Roll call, please.
Committeeman Delcor.
Yes.
Committeewoman McCauley.
Yes?
Deputy Mayor Burchett.
Yes.
Mayor Thompson.
Yes. At this time, we have no new ordinances to be introduced, so we're moving on to municipal budget. Once again, you're going to see our 2014 municipal budget presentation. Preparation of this budget created a rigorous challenge to the Township Committee. Its goals of minimizing the impact on taxpayers while providing the Township departments with the funds necessary to deliver needed and expected services for all of our residents. Our CFO, Nancy Costa, will be making a presentation on the budget details in a few moments, after which I will provide some comments, and I will also call upon our Finance Chair, Committeeman Frank Delcor, for his comments as well. But I'd like to thank the full finance team led by Ms. Costa, along with Administration Ferrera, our finance chairs, and all the municipal department heads for their hard work and diligence while creating this budget. At this time, I'll turn to Ms. Costa to begin the budget presentation. And again, after her presentation, I'll ask for comments from the dais, and then I'll ask for any public comment as well. Thank you. Ms. Costa?
How's that working out?
Thank you, Mayor. 2014 budget totals $27,870,408. This includes non-tax revenues of $10,011,844, which are up by over $144,000 from the prior year. Basis for that increase is we anticipate more fees and permits, municipal court fees, and interest income in 2014. The 2% levy cap would permit us to go up on our taxes by $17,866,37. In order to balance this budget, we'll be going up $17,858,564, which is $2,073 less than the 2% levy cap. In addition to the 2% levy cap, Municipalities are permitted to increase their levy cap with various exceptions, including pension obligation increases, deferred charges to future taxation, emergency appropriations for snow and hurricanes, prior year rateable increases. We could have gone up another $326,694, but are once again taking no exceptions this year. As you can see, 64% of the budget revenues come from municipal taxes. About 12% of our revenues come from state aid, and the remaining 24% comes from grants, local revenues, use of surplus. Beginning in 2007, Hillsborough Township began to see a decline in state aid, and it's remained flat since 2010. Consolidated Municipal Property Tax Relief, also known as COMTRA, was $919,000 in 2007, and it was completely eliminated in 2013. The snow removal costs for the winter of 2014 are increasing this budget by $319,000. Debt service is up over $267,000, but this reflects the last payment due on the 2002 library expansion project. Salaries and wages, exclusive of snow overtime, would be the agreed upon contractual obligations for our various unions. Insurance and benefits are up $119,000. Capital was able to be reduced by $200,000 due to the introduction of the bond ordinance that you just passed a few minutes ago. And our pension contributions are down $146,000 this year. 51 department line items remain frozen or reduced compared to the 2013 budget appropriations. 10 items were actually reduced from last year. The chart shows how our appropriations are allocated. Public safety, which includes police and court expenses, are 29% of this budget. Public works, which includes Department of Public Works, Parks, and Engineering, represents 14%. Our construction department represents 4%, and the remaining departments represent 13% of these budget appropriations. So what does this mean? 2014, the taxes on a home valued at $350,000 will increase by $49. If you want to know what your individual tax increase is, take the assessed value of your home, multiply it by 1.4, and then divide it by 100. And it'll tell you what your actual municipal tax increase will be in 2014. In March of 2014, Standard & Poor's announced that Hillsborough Township's rating had been increased by 2 notches. In 2013, we were a AA-, and in 2014, we're at a AA+. The only higher that we could ever go is one more notch, which would be AAA, which is the best rating you can possibly get. So what does this mean? We have a stable outlook. Our rating is supported by our strong liquidity and our strong budget flexibility. By remaining below the 2% cap every year or slightly below it, that's a huge reason why we got to the AA+. And Standard & Poor's does not expect us to have our rating revised over the next 2 years. So that means when we borrow money, like we will from the bond ordinance you just passed, we can anticipate lower interest rates because of the rating we now have. That concludes my presentation for the public hearing. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Costa, for your presentation. Thank you, Ms. Costa, for your presentation this evening. Before we begin comments from the dais and the public, I would like to address a few key points in this budget. Balancing the budget, as you know, is never an easy task, but once again, the budget held spending to below the 2008 levels, and it continues our approach of managing the township spending in a fiscally responsible way. Overall, I believe this budget is a continuation of our excellent fiscal stewardship that has been a priority for this township committee for many years. As noted by Ms. Costa, the budget is under the 2% levy cap and results in an appropriations increase of 1.8% over 2013. Key cost drivers in this year's budget include the expense associated with the unusual amounts of snow this winter and the increase in contractual wages and salaries, coupled with the final debt service payment on the 2002 library expansion project. Another key point of this fiscal philosophy is to minimize tax impacts by keeping any tax increase at or below the state cap. Once again, we stood our ground and said a resounding no to using the exception loopholes to raise taxes above the 2% cap. The net result of this budget is that the municipal tax rate will increase 1.4 cents per 100 of property valuations from 31.3 cents to 32.7 cents. Again, I would like to thank Finance Committee members Committeeman Sirachi and Delcor, along with our CFO and Administrator Ferrera for their hard work on this year's budget. With that, any comments from the dais?
Thank you, Mayor. As one of the finance leads, I'd first like to thank Ms. Costa and her staff for helping to put the budget together. Also, great support from our administration staff as well. Each year the budget brings different challenges. Each year we have the 2% cap we have to deal with. This year was really Mother Nature related, frankly. It was, when you look at the impact, and Ms. Costa touched upon it in her presentation, an additional $319,000 of snow removal cost is in this budget. That's a significant amount of money for us to absorb in a budget in any given year. When you couple that with the debt service number that's increased by $268, that is a one-time debt service increase because of the final payment to the library. But those two items alone effectively eat up your entire 2% cap. So as a result of that, there's been other items that we've had to do, as we've done in past, to try to reduce spending where possible, reduction in capital, reductions in pension liability, have helped to offset some of those increases that you see in the budget this year. But overall, even with those changes, we were able to maintain within the 2% cap without taking the exceptions. As noted, there was probably an additional $325,000 that could have been taken in this year's budget, additional spending to increase the levy, as we have chosen to do in the past and continue to do. We have rejected those allowable exceptions and maintained within the hard 2% cap, as opposed to what I call soft cap, factoring in those exceptions. A couple of other items just to highlight them for the benefit of the residents. One slide that was in there that I don't think gets enough visibility is that over the course of from 2007 to 2013, our Comptra funding from the state was reduced by over $900,000. Certainly understanding the state's issues in reducing spending as well, and some of the funding, but that's a direct, that has to be made up in the budget, and that has been taken care of over the course of those years, absorbing that reduction in state aid with offsetting reductions in spending over that time. And as noted, we are still spending less today, even with those, the reduction in aid, and some of these drivers are spending less today in appropriations than we did back in 2008. So overall, the trend has been to try to reduce the overall appropriations significantly to be able to offset some of the revenue declines and also ensure that we're staying within that 2% cap. And finally, and I think very significantly, we can kind of stand up here and say that we think the budget is a good one, and that, try to pat ourselves on the back. But that's all coming from us. The important independent review came from Standard & Poor's, changing our rating, bumping it 2 notches, which is fairly unprecedented. Normally they do a notch at a time. And now our credit rating for the municipality is a AA+, which puts us on a par with the U.S. government, the full faith and credit of the U.S. government, and 1 notch below a AAA, which is about the best that you can get. So I think that speaks to the work that has gone into the budget, not just by the Township Committee, and I don't mean to single this out, but it's really more the employees in town, our administration staff, the excellent work of our finance group, to make sure that we're spending money wisely. We're putting programs in place that allow us to reduce spending where necessary and have to spend and increase spending where it's necessary and the right thing to do. So I think that AA+ rating with the 2 notch increase speaks to the financial stability of the township, and something as a member of the Finance Committee I am very proud of. So I think the budget continues to be one that, as a municipality, we should approve, and we will continue to work within that 2% cap as long as I sit up on the dais up here. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Any other comments?
I did some research, and I was very proud to find out, hopefully Nancy, you can say this is true or not, but there isn't any AAA's townships in New Jersey. And we are one of the few AA pluses. So it's a real testament to our finance crews over the past few years that Standard & Poor's has the confidence in us to go to AA plus. It's actually quite amazing.
Agreed.
You guys said it all already. I agree with everything you said, and everything I was going to touch on was already touched upon. So, again, just wanted to say thank you for all the hard work as always going into the finance and the budget. It's a key role to what we do up here, and I wanted to thank everyone who works hard every day, 365 days a week, to keep us all in check. Thank you. Nancy Costa.
Okay. With that, seeing no other comments from the dais, any comments from the floor? Seeing none, resolution authorizing the 2014 municipal budget to be read by title only. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Any comments from the dais? Again, I think we covered that. Any comments from the floor? Again, seeing none, roll call, please.
Excuse me. Committeeman Delcourt.
Yes.
Committeewoman McCauley.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Burchett.
Yes.
Mayor Thompson.
Yes. Now, resolution adopting the 2014 municipal budget. May I have a motion?
So moved.
You guys are in sync.
I know. Who wants second this time?
I'll second.
Thank you. Sorry, any comments from the dais? Any additional comments, I should say? Any comments from the floor? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Committeeman Delcourt.
Yes.
Committeewoman McCauley.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Burchett.
Yes.
Mayor Thompson.
Yes, and again, thank you to Ms. Costa and our Finance Committee for your hard work on this year's budget. Thank you both. Moving on to considerations this evening. First up is a resolution authorizing the hiring of Keith Hook for the position of the part-time bus driver for the Hillsborough Township Department of Social Services, effective May 28, 2014, at a rate of $17 per hour, not to exceed 29 hours per week as on an as-needed basis. This part-time bus driver is utilized for the Senior Transportation Program, which provides bus service in the local area for Hillsborough residents aged 60 and over who are otherwise without a means of transportation. Transportation provided to area doctors, senior wellness programs at the municipal building, grocery shopping, etc. The purpose of this program is to promote an independent lifestyle for our senior residents. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Any comments from the dais?
Mayor, just a quick thought. I know Kathy's here, interviewed Mr. Hook, and I think it's important for all the things you just mentioned that we have a pool of bus drivers for all the important services. So wanted to thank Kathy and her team to make sure that we have those services for our seniors. And this is adding to the pool. This is actually the best pool of bus drivers we've had in years. So I want to thank Kathy for her hard work there.
Okay.
We need him to drive the van, too.
Any comments from the floor? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Committeeman Delcourt.
Yes.
Committeewoman McCauley.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Burchett.
Yes.
Mayor Thompson.
Yes. Resolution number 2, authorizing the hiring of summer employees Ronald Prosecco, Ryan Bolton, Matthew Domatrowski, Thomas Kessler, Kyle Burke, and Camille Delecki for the Department of Public Works with a start date on or about May 28, 2014, at a salary of $10 per hour, funded through the Clean Communities Grant. The Clean Communities Grant provides that the funding for temporary summer help in the Parks Department and the Department of Public Works. This particular resolution authorizes the hiring of the above-mentioned summer employees. As always, grant funding is always appreciated as it allows this type of hires without impacting our Hillsborough taxpayers. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Any comments from the dais? 2 for 2, sorry. I believe we actually have one of the employees. I think it was on our first summer. Guys actually showed up for a meeting, so thank you.
Welcome. Get him on camera. There you go.
It's ready to start work?
Yeah, you're ready. That's great. Okay. Any comments from the floor? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Committeeman Delcourt.
Yes.
Committeewoman McCauley?
Yes?
Deputy Mayor Burchett?
Yes.
Mayor Thompson?
Yes, congratulations.
Thank you.
Resolution number 3, awarding a one-year contract with Norm Hewitt, touching all the bases, to operate a recreational baseball summer clinic from June 23, 2014 to June 22, 2015. Through the sealed bid process, Touching All the Bases has been awarded the one-year contract for a recreational baseball camp. This is the fifth year that the camp is being provided to the youth of Hillsborough to improve their baseball skills, such as hitting, fielding, pitching, and the overall mechanics of the game. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Any comments from the dais? Comments from the floor? Seeing none, roll call.
Committeeman Delcor?
Yes.
Committeewoman McCauley?
Yes?
Deputy Mayor Burchett?
Yes.
Mayor Thompson?
Yes, and moving on to the consent agenda, may I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Second?
Any comments from the dais? From the floor? Seeing none, roll call.
Committeeman Delcor?
Yes.
Committeewoman McCauley?
Yes?
Deputy Mayor Burchett?
Yes.
Mayor Thompson?
Yes. Moving on to claims list this evening, may I have a motion to approve claims list 2014-10?
So moved.
Second?
Roll call, please.
Committeeman Delcor?
Yes.
Committeewoman McCauley?
Yes?
Deputy Mayor Burchett?
Yes.
Mayor Thompson?
Yes. This concludes our regular meeting this evening. We do have an executive session, so Ms. Borak, please read the executive session resolution.
Whereas Section 8 of the Open Public Meetings Act, Chapter 231, Public Laws of 1975 permits the exclusion of the public from a meeting in certain circumstances. And whereas the Township Committee is of the opinion that such circumstances exist, now therefore be resolved by the Township Committee of the Township of Hillsborough in the County of Somerset, State of New Jersey as follows. Number 1, the public shall be excluded from the discussion of the hereinafter specified subject matters. Number 2, the general nature of the subject matter to be discussed is as follows. A, contract negotiations, RPM Associates. Number 3, the Township Committee may take official action on those items discussed in an executive session upon the completion of the executive session. Number 4, the minutes of those discussions shall be made available to the public as soon as the matters under discussion are no longer of a confidential or sensitive nature. Number 5, this resolution shall take effect immediately.
Okay, may I have a motion to approve?
So moved?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Committeeman Delcor?
Yes.
Committeewoman McCauley?
Yes?
Deputy Mayor Burchett?
Yes.
Mayor Thompson?
Yes, we will now move into executive session. Thank you, everybody.